The FDA is likely to authorize a third shot of the Pfizer vaccine for millions of Americans. Next, the decision goes over to scientists at the CDC who could form a decision by the end of the week, meaning some Americans could get their third Pfizer shot as early as Friday. Let's bring in infectious disease specialist at South Shore Health and ABC News medical contributor, Dr. Todd Ellerin. Thanks again for being with us, Todd.
Hi, Kara.
Well, let's talk about the impact of the FDA's decision today. And how would giving a third Pfizer booster shot for people over 65 or those at high risk actually help the U.S. fight this COVID pandemic?
Well, we always have to emphasize that the key is making sure that the unvaccinated within the U.S. and around the world get vaccinated. That's the most important thing to really change the tide of the direction of this pandemic. But with that said, we do know from a number of studies now that these boosters raise our antibody levels and decrease the risk of infection. And let's face it, the less infection there is, the less transmission is likely. And we want to do everything we can because we have a triangle that's looking pretty precarious with winter coming, Delta surging, and less than half the country still unvaccinated.
So what do you think? How long could it be until people who got the Pfizer or the J&J shot actually hear about a decision for boosters, especially for those at high risk or over the age of 65?
Right. So we're still waiting for the FDA to give that final green light. Obviously, their advisory committee did, so that's expected. And then the CDC is going to be meeting this week about the Pfizer booster. So I expect also that to go in a similar direction, although we can't be sure of that. So I do think within the next few weeks, we're going to be hearing about this and it will be ready to go live. But remember something else, that, you know, as far as the FDA is going to be very busy over the next few months. Let's face it. They have to think about the Pfizer booster, and then next in line is likely the Moderna booster, and then of course the J&J booster. And after all that, kids age 5 to 11 about primary vaccination series with Pfizer. So it's going to be a very busy few months. But I think after all is said and done, we're going to be continuing to head in the right direction.
All right, speaking of heading in the right direction, earlier today, we took it live here on ABC News Live. President Biden held this virtual World Leaders Summit on COVID and announced a second purchase of a 500 million dose batch of the Pfizer vaccine to share with other countries around the world. Now, as a doctor, what do you think of Biden's speech and this plan to help fight the virus, not only here, but globally?
He's asking the United States and the rest of the world to go big against COVID-19. Let's face it, this is a global pandemic where there is uncontrolled replication in one part of the world can affect us back at home. We know that. Just think back a year and a half ago to Wuhan. It happened, a few cases turned into a nightmare. So what we need to do is make sure the entire world is vaccinated. At this point, less than 10% of the poorest countries in the world have been vaccinated. We have a long way to go. I think this type of donation is key, but also other countries have to fall in line as well.
So what do you think of Florida's newly appointed Surgeon General, Todd, and Secretary of State's Health Department allegedly opposing mask and vaccine mandates now? When asked whether the state actually should be promoting vaccines, he said that too much emphasis has been placed on vaccine and that it's, quote, been treated almost like a religion and that it's just senseless. So what do you make of hearing this and, you know, especially in a state where COVID rates are known to be really high?
Kara, you're making my heart rate go up right now. You know, when politics corrupts an effective public health response, people die, transmissions increase, things get out of control. We need to all be united on this front. The virus needs to be the enemy. We cannot be the enemy. The more divided we are as a country, as individual states, the more the more fuel we are giving this virus to just propagate. So I really hope that people do the right thing and understand that things like masks and vaccines work to decrease transmission, and these do save lives.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about this new Florida Surgeon General for some time. Dr. Ted Ellerin, thank you so much.
You bet.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.